So, hello and very good evening to one and all present here. I welcome you all here on the behalf of me, myself, as the host for the day today. And the topic for the day today is constructor function. I am going to ask everyone 5 questions per head, and also I'll be including some HTML questions so that you can, revise all the topics clearly. Okay. So I hope everyone knows the rule, but for the new member, firstly, I would like to welcome Akash Kumar to our group. He's new, so I would request him to introduce himself first for our public.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Akash Kumar, and I have done BTech in electrical engineering in 2020. And after that, I did a 1 year course in ADC, that is Advanced Diploma in Computer Application. And after that, I want to change my career towards coding, and that's why I joined Masai School for 35 weeks of coding, front where we have get hand experience in front end and back end technologies. And I am a good and enthusiastic person. And about my family, my father is a farmer and my mother is a homemaker. And in about my siblings, I am youngest, one of them. And when we talk about my hobbies, then I always used to play badminton in outdoor, and I always read some good books. Yeah, that's all about me. Thank you.
Okay, nice introduction. So now I would like to tell rules firstly because he's new to us. So very basic rules are there, just like Hokumu interview you must have encountered. So the very first rule is this, that I'll be giving you marks out of 10, and on the basis of few skills which I have already mentioned in my very first meet. The very first thing is this, that how well you understood the question, your impression, your way of expressing me, and your way of listening full question, that you should not cut my voice in between. You have to listen first proper question, then you have to answer. And fifth thing is this, that are you able to grab the all the questions, are you able to convey your message through your questions, and also you have to provide some extra knowledge whatever you know about that particular question. And of course your grammar, your English speaking skills, your face expression, your level of confidence, these all things also matter. So these are the criteria on which I'll be giving you marks, and at the end of the meeting I'll be giving everyone marks. And of course I'll be asking 5 questions from you everyone, and it depends on me that whether I ask you a constructor function or HTML questions. There will be mixed questions of HTML and constructor, because the constructor don't have constructor is not a vast topic, so that's why. Okay, so I hope everyone is ready. So prepare yourself, guys. So let's start with it. So first I would like to ask Vishal first, what do you understand by constructor function?
Thank you, host, for giving me the opportunity. So constructor function is basically a blueprint by which we can make several objects with the help of that constructor function. So this is the basic definition of constructor function. We can make several objects with the help of constructor function, or we can say a blueprint of constructor function. In a same type, several objects we can make with the help of one constructor function. So this is very time time saving things. If we go to make manually 100 objects, so it will take too much time to make them. But if we take help of constructor function, so definitely it will a time saving thing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so well answered. Now I want Amit to tell me that what are the use cases of constructor function.
Okay, so basic use cases is first the constructor functions are mostly used for creating multiple objects with some shared methods. So if we have different let's say for example different users with shared properties like name, age, and some methods, then we can use constructor function. We just declare once a constructor function and use it for to create multiple user objects with shared methods. So that was the first use case. Second use case is for inheritance. Like we have one parent object, and by using that parent object, we want some children objects, which needs to have the parents properties as well. So we can create one parent constructor function, and by using that, we can create multiple instances of that. And those instances will have some shared methods which are there in the parent object, but some specific methods as well for their own use. So inheritance is a major use case of constructor function. So yeah, these were the two use cases.
Okay. Now I want Karan to take the mic and answer me, why do we use this keyword in constructor function? What is the use of this keyword?
Okay, so basically, this keyword like it is used instead of creating any object, but like in factory functions, we have to create object for getting the result. But inside constructor function, we don't have to return anything. We can just simply use this keyword. It will just like it will connect this keyword towards the function we are calling, like function, the object we are calling. So this keywords used for that only. Like we don't have to return anything in constructor function. That's why we use this keyword.
Okay. So Mahin, please unmute yourself. I will be asking you HTML CSS question. So tell me, how can we use flex to remove the items?
Your
Use of flex.
question is,
Yeah.
can you please repeat?
How do we use flex in order to arrange the items or remove them?
Okay, so arrange the items. So this is the one of property to display flex. It make if generally we gave the parent element to display flex, and inside the all element in the main parent div, so all element get a like a inline. Like if one element is div, and inside that we have a 4 to 5 element like a block level and inline level, both the kind of element there. So it will be become a inline. And second question is how to remove. So I don't get this your question, how to remove. I know how the basic of flex and how to arrange the element by using flex, but remove thing I don't get here.
Okay.
Can
So
you
let me
please
tell you.
explain me?
Yeah. Let me tell you, there are the things like justify content, space between, space around. These are all there. And moreover, you can write at flex direction, flex start, flex end. So these are the qualities how you can apply to like change the elements space or whatever space they are requiring.
अबे सोचने लग गई
Move.
यार.
Okay. I was about to ask how you can move, not remove. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Please
so
repeat your answer once again and
Okay.
answer me how we can use flex properties to move the elements which are there in our browser.
Okay, so first of all, I repeat my answer. And by using flex, so first of all, we give flex property to the parent element, and the element present in the parent element, like a 4 to 5 element are present inside the parent element. So and no matter how it is block level element or inline level element, they are when just I apply display flex, so all element get inline, and all this setup in one single line. And how to give a direction and the things. So there are several things like a justify content center, flex start, flex and space between, say space around, and for align, and we can like align item center and center flex and flex start. This is the thing how we deal with flex. So this is my answer.
Okay. So now I want our new member to answer me simple HTML and CSS questions only. So the very first question is this: can we use grid in order to apply media query to our elements? If yes, then how? How grid is helpful in media query in comparison to flex?
So yeah, grid is important to use in media queries, because when we use the grid, then we can just want to grid all the things in one place. If we use the flex, then it's become very difficult to tackle in media queries, because in media queries, when we use the grid, then it always gives us more what should I say, yeah, it's become very easy to code like in grid. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So nice answer. But I was expecting you to tell me the properties, like we use grid, column, repeat. Then we can write these type of qualities in order to apply to media query. Then it will be very helpful for us to
Yeah,
watch it
you are
as
right.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one questions I have asked per head. Now again I want Tiwari to unmute. Okay, you are already unmute. Super. Explain me the use of new keyword in constructor function.
Yeah. So new is a keyword in constructor function. Pre-decided keyword in JavaScript. With the help of new keyword, we can create multiple instance of that uh, object with the help of constructor function. Uh, uh, we can create multiple instance of object with the help of new keyword. We just put new keyword first, and then we declare the name of the object, or with the help by like doing this, we just made a new object with the help of new keyword. Yeah.
Okay. So now it's turn of Karan. No, it's turn of Amit. So Amit, can you just explain me the role of constructor when an object is ins- instantiated?
Okay, so the role of constructor function when object is instantiated. So mostly constructor functions are made to create multiple objects in a very short term way. So when we call an constructor function, then we actually initiate it. The technically we call it initiating a constructor function. So we initiate a constructor function by using a new keyword, and that's do the job, or that's create an instance of a new object, which we have declared by a variable. So the syntax is that we first declare one variable and assign it to our constructor functions call. So that's how we initiate an instance of an object, which takes the properties and methods of that constructor function, like whatever properties and method we have written inside that constructor function. Yeah.
Okay, well answered. Now it's turn of Karan. So Karan, just tell me that what happens if I don't provide any class to my constructor? You're mute.
Hello.
Yeah.
So your question is, any like if we don't provide any class to our constructor function, right?
What happens if you don't provide a constructor in a class?
In
What
a class,
happens? Yeah.
what do you mean by in a class? Can you explain?
If I will
Because
explain, then whole answer will be revealed, I believe.
so I don't know the answer right now.
Okay, no problem. Okay, question I will shift to Mahin. Mahin, please answer the question.
Yeah, so your question is if you can't use constructor inside the class. This is your question. Okay,
Yeah.
so in class, basically we use constructor because of passing the parameters. If we can't pass the constructor use the constructor inside the class, so we can't pass any parameter which we want, like and don't and this will like a class will be a static, not a dynamic. If you want to they pass the parameter and make the classes dynamic, so we should apply the constructor.
Okay,
This is my
that's the correct answer. So Mahin gets 1 point. Okay. So now it's turn of Karan, Mahin only. So Mahin, again, I would like to ask you a constructor function only. So just tell me that if I don't want to use constructor function, then which other alternative I can use in place of constructor function and how I can use it?
So if we don't use the constructor function, basically constructor is for creating a object. So we use manually objects, and they are like a prototype of, and there is a several thing, and thing is class. We also use class, but we can't without constructor passing any parameters. So instead of constructor, this is a manually we can create manually objects. So this is what and my answer.
No, your answer is half correct. There is a other alternative which is called as factory functions. That was my expected answer to you. Yeah, factory functions are there. They are quite similar to constructor function, but in those functions we don't use this and new keywords. We can directly write it and declare it like that. Those are the factory functions. It is also an alternative of constructor function. Okay. So now it's turn of Akash again. So Akash, my question to you is in HTML only. So can you tell me the use of the default elements which are already there in my HTML document? Like there are doc type, HTML, EN, this language. What is the use of those elements? Why they are mentioned?
Uh, just I want to pass this question. Can you ask me questions from constructor function or orientation or prototype?
Okay, okay. I thought it's your first day, so that's why I wasn't asking. Okay, I'll pass this question to Karan. Karan, please answer me. What is the use of doc type, this and I mean there are various elements are there, right? What is the use of those elements? Why they are mentioned?
Okay, so basically, when we start writing HTML, there is one boilerplate which we can access with the help of exclamation mark and shift. And in that boilerplate, there are some there are pre-written syntax of HTML, and in that there are different text like doc type or there are different text you mentioned. So it is basically the syntax of the HTML which dignifies that this is the HTML, this is the version of the HTML, and this is the language in which this HTML is written to for the browser, so that browser can get that this is the HTML file. So that's the reason behind it.
Okay, so well answered. Firstly, okay. So now I want to ask Akash to only a constructor function question that can a class have multiple constructors? If yes, then explain me how.
What can you ask us again?
Can a class have multiple constructors? If yes, then how?
I'm not getting your question. Class. Yeah, I can use multiple constructor function in class. Yeah, I can use. And suppose we have taken the class with some name and in that some parameters, then if I use the constructor function in that class, then suppose I use the constructor function, suppose I take let constructor function name and function inside that parameters, and after that I created inside that this dot something a variable, and after that we can call that construction function with the help of let new objects means we can create new objects using the new keywords, because that new keywords is mainly for return the function that we use in construction function.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, well answered. So now it's turn of Tiwari again. So Tiwari, answer me that what is the difference between inline and block elements?
Yeah, so inline and block element is a very simple thing. So inline element is element which only takes whole line where we uh, put them, or block level elements are elements like they they took a block only. They never take place of more than they required. So that types of element called block label elements, or the element which take entire width of that line. So that types of element called inline elements.
Okay. So not well answered, firstly. Block elements and inline elements are quite different from each other. You have answered, but the way you expressed was not quite up to the mark. Your answer was good. So you could have explained me like inline elements always allow other elements to take spaces beside them in our browser, whereas block elements never allowed any any element to sit beside them. They just block whole line. If you want to make them inline, then you have to use the properties name as block line elements, which is there display as inline. Then you can change that property as well. They can be changed, they can be manipulated, but by default, few of the examples of block line elements are h1, p tag, and inline you could have given me example like span tags, and like many more examples are there. So you could have answered like that. Okay. So now it's turn of Amit again. So Amit, your question is from CSS. So can you explain me that what is the use of display properties in our CSS? Why do we use it? Like we can change the display of any element. We can change the display like attach and anything. Why do we use it? What is the use of it? What is the benefit?
Okay. So if we try to introduce multiple elements into our web page, then they will take the default property which has been assigned to them, the default one, like the block property will be block. But if we want the dynamic layout, like we want some layout, specific layout for the web page, then we define the display property to a particular element. In that property, we'll be assigning different properties like flex, grid is there, and we can use multiple properties through to adjust the elements inside a parent, or we can do anything like spread all around, do any like achieve any layout of a particular web page. So display property has multiple properties inside that, through which we can achieve a specified layout to a web page.
Okay. Nice answer. Okay, now it's turn of Karan again. So Karan, can you tell me the difference between flex and grid? What are the benefits of each other over each other?
Okay, so basically there is the main difference between flex and grid is like they are both display property, and the main difference is that in flex you can only change the x-axis of the display, but in with the help of grid you can change both y-axis and x-axis, both you can manipulate both of them. Like for example, in flex you can just only give two main properties, flex direction and justify content and align items, which only align the items in x-axis. But in grid you can manipulate things according to with the help of columns and rows also. So there is more advantage in grid. And in grid, like when you are giving specific to grid, like you are giving property specific to grid, so it will also help you in meta queries. Whenever you want to change the display ratio of the screen, it will also help you in that. So there are more advantages in grid over the flex. So that's my answer.
Okay. So now it's turn of Mahin. Mahin, what is the purpose of super keyword in constructors?
Okay, so super keyword in constructor. So first of all, I want to tell you super keyword used for classes, not for constructor. And okay, and by using super keyword, we can inherit the one class to another class. If one class is already present, like a class person, and I will go to make another class. So I will extend the classes, and after inside this I declare a constructor, and inside I using the super keyword. Because of super keyword, I can inherit all the properties from the person if I want to extend the that particular classes by the person class. So this is what super keyword use, and by using super keyword, we most of work is decreases by super classes. Super keyword in classes, not it is not for constructor. So this is my answer.
Okay. I was searching the questions and there it was mentioned, so I asked you. Okay. So now it's turn of Akash only. So Akash, can you tell me the use of factory functions? How do we use it and why do we use it? Is there any benefit of using factory functions over constructor functions? If yes, please mention.
Factory function, I don't know about factory function. I read about create function, object.create or anything that's
Okay, no
similar to
problem.
that factory function, or it's different.
No, it's same, but little bit different from the constructor function. It is a topic of
I am
constructor.
just saying that apart from construction function, I always used a create function that is also similar to construction function, where we
Yeah,
have to just
explain that.
yeah,
Explain.
that's similar to construction function, we have also a create function where we always used a keyword that is suppose we want to create object, then let a variable of object, and then we just want to create a object, then we will use the object dot create, and after that in the small braces we take the parameters or what the objects we want to create, that just write, and after that if we console.log the variable, then we will get the object. So yeah, this is also manually that we can do apart from construction function, that is create function.
Okay, nice. So now I would like to ask Tiwari again. Can you explain me the CSS classes? How many there are?
CSS classes.
Yeah, sorry, CSS combinators.
Oh, CSS combinators. Yeah. So we have combinators in CSS by which we can actually I'm a little bit confused about
Slow combinated.
hello. Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, we have combinators in CSS. With the help of combinators, we can select we can put multiple selectors in between. We just put combinators to add them. We have four combinators. One is descent selectors. Second is child selector. Third is adjacent sibling selector. General sibling selector. So we have four selectors. With the help of selector, we can put multiple uh, multiple selectors, and between them we just put that selector. Okay, yeah, that's it.
It's a call kara.
Okay, okay. So I'll call you again so that we can continue. So, okay. So everyone has answered. These were the very basic questions. We will be increasing the bar line from the next meeting. So be prepared for it. It is the last question from everyone. So Karan, I want you to answer me. In detail, what is constructor function? You have to wind up your answer in this whole.
Okay, so basically constructor function, when, like for example, I will give you example, then I will explain you. So for example, like we are making different objects with the same key names. Okay, the key names are same, only values are changing, and we are making different objects. And it is like there is one thing we call in JavaScript, that is dry property, that don't repeat anything. So it is necessary. We should less the code as much as we can. So because of that we use constructor functions, so that we can less that code. We can with the help of constructor function, we can create one constructor function, and with the help of that we can create different objects only in one line. So it will help us in that. For example, I will give you the proper syntax of the constructor function. First of all, we have to make a function with the name, and in that function we have to call some properties with the variable this. Okay, and this will dignify to the object we gonna make afterwards. Okay, we make different keys with the name, this dot username, this dot email, this dot number, and something like that. And then when we want to call that object, we will just, how do we create object? So we will just create a variable with the name, any name, like let user1 is equals to new. We use new keyword to create a different like new object. New keyword is used to create an object. Okay, we use new keyword. We will choose that function name, so that we can assign that function to it, and inside parenthesis we will give all the values we need inside that what we call inside that keys. So that's how we use constructor function, and that is the use of that, basic use of that.
Okay. So Amit, it's your turn. So how do you define constructor function in JavaScript? Provide me an example.
Okay, so how do we declare or create constructor functions? So the syntax goes like just like any other functions, you declare constructor function like function constructor. But since constructor function is a special kind of function, so the first letter of the name should be capital, and then it can be go in Pascal cases. So after that, you pass the parenthesis, and in the code blocks, you write the code, and the code should be the properties and methods that you are trying to introduce to the object. So you write all the properties like this dot property 1, this dot property 2, and assign it some values. And for methods also, this dot method name and then the function assignment. So this was the whole constructor function declaration. So how you use it? You use it like again, since it is going to return you an object. So to store the object, first let object, and then you call the constructor function. So since constructor function again being a special method, so you don't invoke it as if a normal function. You invoke it with the new keyword. So new, and then invoke the constructor function, and that will generate you an instance of the object. So this is how you create the first object, and by similar invocations you create multiple objects. Yeah, so that's how we use constructor functions, and all about invocation and creation.
Okay. Next is Mahin. How can you add properties and methods to an object created by a constructor function?
Okay, so there are two ways to create properties and methods. The first method is we can define inside the only constructor function itself. Like in just constructor function, we need to first pass the parameter, and by using this parameter, we can create a properties and method. And first properties like this dot name equal to name. So this is the property created. How we create, and the second is the method. So we can method also created like a this keyword only this dot and the function like a get information equal to, and in this we can define the function as a method. So this is first the method to how to create properties and method inside the constructor function itself. And second thing is by using prototype. So it in this using this method we can define the properties and method outside the constructor. So like the name of the constructor is like a person. So outside the class, we outside the constructor we can create like a person dot prototype dot if I need to create new property, so dot and the name of property like a new property and equal to take the value which I want. And if I want to create method, so this kind of thing like a this dot the person dot property dot and the name of the function like a get info and equal to, and that I want to use the function. And so this is the two method how we can create a property and method inside the constructor function itself or also outside. So this is my answer.
Okay. So well answered. Now it's turn of Tiwari. Where are you?
Hello. Can you hear
Turn on
me?
your camera.
Yeah, actually, I'm not able to turn on my camera.
Okay. So explain me the uses of this and new keyboard. Why do we use it? Is there any specialty? Why do we use?
Yeah. So yeah, we use this this keyword. So this keyword refers to the parent object of that where we use this we use this in two places in object or object method. So it refers to the owner of the object, or we can say the directly it refers to the place where this will introduce or new keyword is for making new instance of any object. We use new keywords to create a new instance of any object. So we use new keywords. Yeah.
Okay. So your answer is good, but please work on your explanation part. It's quite not good. Okay. So now it's the turn of Akash. Please stop texting me. So Akash, where are you? Are you
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to wind up everyone's answer. I want you to explain me properly that this keyword, new keyword, what is constructor function, how can we create an object, how can we add properties to objects. Explain me all the things in detail.
So yeah, first of all, we talk about what is the definition of construction function. So if in one line we can say that construction function is just to create different types of objects and in same parameters and same methods. But if we talk about the use cases of construction function, then it is very useful, not in even Java, but also in other languages, because for in construction function, we can create different objects. But suppose if we didn't use the construction function, then we will have to write them manually, or we have to use the another, that is object.create functions. But in construction function, it is very useful because it takes a very less line to code, and it is very easy to tackle the errors also for the users and for the developers. So that's why we use the construction functions. And in construction functions, first we write the construction function, and after that we write this dot a variable is equal to variable, because this is not only, it is a dynamic variable where if we create a new variable, then it always goes as like a prototype or as like an inheritance of that this. And if we talk about the new keyword that is used in creating the new objects, then new is just like a returning value, because in suppose in simple or normal functions, we have to invoke the function, then we have to always write the return part. But in construction function, we didn't write return part because this new keyword is just doing the same work as return. And if we talk about the extra information about construction function, so yeah, it is very important. And also with the help of construction function, we can use also there are 3 tools that we can use, that is the call, apply, and bind tools. And if we talk about the call, then suppose if we want to call the whole construction from the construction function objects from 1 or 2, 3 objects there is written, then if we want to call, then we can directly call using the dot call tool. And suppose if we want to call the whole 2, 3, or suppose we have the 100 objects in array, and that we have to want to use some other function or in other methods, then we can use with the help of dot bind or dot apply. So these all are the tools that we use in construction function. So yeah, that's all about construction function.
Okay. It's a well description of constructor function. Guys, please learn. Okay. And now it's time for winding up the session. Today there were no practical questions because we have to do another meet as well. So Tiwari will be asking you the practical questions as well. So we will be seeing you guys again. Till then, stay tuned, stay healthy, and keep learning. Never give up on yourself. Thank you.
क्यों क्यों
Winner.
So Priya, please declare the winner of the meet.
अरे
Yeah.
बाय कर चुकी
Okay,
है
okay.
वो
So I'll be explaining about everyone. Okay. So firstly, it is the well explanation of answers goes to Akash. A big shout out to him because he has answered every question very well. Though he passed some questions, but the way of answering was quite good. And you should learn those techniques, that how you have to tackle the question. That is the technique you have to learn. Okay. And second, I would like to talk about Amit. Amit, whenever you speak, try to be expressive. You talk about like you are reading a book. It doesn't seems like you're taking pauses, you're taking full stop in between, wherever you are giving a definition or anything. It doesn't seems like that. Please work on your like speaking skills. You have to work on your voice modulation a lot. Okay. Every time I'm giving you the same feedback, and today as well. Your knowledge is good, your everything is good, but somewhere your voice modulation will just cut off. Okay. Talking about Mahin, whenever you get questions, you are overexcited. You are always overexcited because you know that the question is quite simple, and you are like, okay, I know this, I'll answer it. You are overexcited, that's okay, but try to control it, because you have to explain the public whatever you are getting. You know the answer, but you have to explain it. It's not like you know and we also know. It's like you know and you have to explain to us in very calm and in very not over hesitated voice. I always I mean observe your like there is a stammer in your voice, you stuck in between. So like that, try to practice it out. You have a great knowledge, try to apply it to your voice as well. Okay. And talking about Tiwari, so I think you need to listen to the question first, and you need not copy from anywhere. If I'm asking you any question, please answer me that you don't know. Please don't copy from anywhere. It's okay, you don't know. We are also learning phase. We are not like we have learned everything. We are in a learning phase. We all make mistakes. Try to accept it first, and then try to convey it to your interviewer. Okay. And your explanation part is also not good. I mean, the way you explain, the way you pick up the words are not appropriate for your explanation. I have observed that. Okay. Talking about Karan. So, Karan, uh, your explanation is good, but you don't know the synchronized way of explaining things. Like, whatever is to be said at last, you speak it at first, and then you mix up it all. Like, your points are mixed up. I cannot just variate that which point was first, which was second, which was third. Okay. So this is the thing which on which you should work. Like, you should talk in a synchronized way. Okay. First explain the basic thing, then middle, then advanced level. That's what the method is. Okay. I think I have talked about everyone, and today's questions were quite basic, quite basic. It wasn't like it was asked in very depth, but still you guys were not able to answer my questions properly. So that's a drawback for you all guys. So please work on it. And the shout out is to Akash only, because the way of answering was quite good of him. So that's how I would like to give everyone's feedback. Okay.